Hey, what's up everybody? This is Flashback Toys and Collectibles, and today I wanted to share with you my Stomper collection. So these are toys from my childhood from the early 1980s, and these were some of my favorite toys when I was a kid growing up. I really loved these things. So I got 5 battery-powered Stompers, and then I got a bunch of mini Stompers here, but these are not battery-powered, these are just push vehicles. And all these mini Stompers were available in the McDonald's Happy Meals around 1985 or 1986, somewhere in there. And speaking of McDonald's, this guy right here was a special order Stomper, and I got a little flyer here that shows how this worked. This was a special offer through McDonald's to get this guy here. Kids, get your very own limited edition Stomper 4x4 for only $2.49 plus 3 proofs of purchase. So this is like a 1979, 1980, somewhere in there, Chevy step-side pickup. And it's got a roll bar on there, big fat tires. And this is a Generation 2 Stomper. You can usually tell by the bigger tires. Also, the Generation 2 had multiple speeds. You had low and high speed and neutral. So right now it's in neutral, so the tires can just spin. Then you can put it in low speed by pushing this tab here. And high speed by pushing this tab this direction. And there's a look at the headlights. There we go, you can see them a little better there in the dark. So very cool little vehicle here. And now I'll go ahead and take one of these apart so you can see how the battery goes in. So they unclip from the front right here. Then there's a battery cover that you can unclip right here. And you got to be careful with these because they get pretty brittle, especially for being a 40-year-old toy. Now we're going to pop a battery in here. And these Stomper vehicles do not like rechargeable batteries. They only like the real deal ones. Pop that back on. Alright. And now this one should be ready to turn on. So here's low speed. And you can see that headlight there. Go ahead and put the cover back on. Now let's try out the high speed. And this guy's a little bit temperamental. There we go. Let's look at the headlights. So this is an AMC Eagle. This is definitely not my favorite Stomper by any means. I never really liked AMC Eagles, but I like Stompers and I got this guy at a good price, so I added it to my collection. Next up is a Ford towing truck. And this looks to be based off of a 1960s Ford tow truck. And what's cool with this guy is it actually can tow these other Stompers. I'll show that here in a second. So this is also a Generation 2 Stomper, but I do have the skinnier tires on here. And it's kind of hard to see here, but I do have a mixed match of tires here. This is the rubber version of these tires, and here is a foam tire. And these types of tires were made more for indoor use because they are soft and pliable. You can maneuver around objects easier, and they also worked better on the Stomper tracks. Here's a look at the body of this one. Got a lot of good detail on it. Stomper towing. Got the tow mechanism here, so it can drop down to hook under the vehicle. Then once you're underneath the bumper, you can push this down to lift up the vehicle. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the low speed. And here is the high speed. This one seems like it's moving pretty fast. Those tires are really getting it. Now I'll show you how it tows the vehicle here. So we'll go ahead and drop the tow mechanism here. Then this hooks underneath the bumper like that. Then you lift it up by pushing that lever down. So as you can see, this guy tows pretty good. Next up is a sheriff's police vehicle. And this is a Jeep And this one is also a Generation 2 Stomper. Got a winch on the front of this guy. Some police lights on the top. Jeep logo on the back. Let's go ahead and fire this one up. There's low speed. And here is high speed. Whoa. That doesn't sound very healthy. And here's an interesting thing you can do with these Stompers. You can actually just put the battery in backwards. And now it will run in reverse. So go ahead and put the cover back on. When I turn it on, it should go backwards. And I've also heard that you can wire up a 9-volt battery to these Stompers and make these things really haul. But I don't want to try that out because I don't want a chance ruining the motor in any of these Stompers. And next up is a Chevy LUV pickup. And this one actually is a Generation 1 Stomper. You can tell by the skinnier tires it has, and it only has one gear. So go ahead and turn it on here. And as you can see, this one's also four-wheel drive like the other ones. We just don't have the multi-gears in neutral. And this one's supposed to have headlights, but the headlights on this one do not work. I need to get a new bulb inside there. Pretty cool little vehicle though. Nice paint job. Got the Chevy logo, Stomper logo, LUV logo, 4x4 with the roll bar. Missing the headlight though. So out of my Stomper collection, I think this one is my favorite. Mostly because I had a pickup like this when I was younger. When I was 16, my very first vehicle was a 1978 Chevy pickup, which was a lot like this one, except it wasn't step side. But it really brings back some memories looking at this guy. I even had a roll bar on mine. And now I have a 1982 Chevy pickup, short box, that looks pretty similar to this as well. So I'm a big fan of Chevy trucks and also Chevy Stompers. Now let's quickly take a look at all the mini Stompers. And we'll take a look at that brochure again. So all these Stompers you could get with Happy Meals back in the mid-1980s. So here's the ad that's inside this brochure. It shows the mini Stompers you can collect at McDonald's. And it also advertises some of the full-size Stompers as well, such as the Speedsters, Aquafighters, Quad Climbers, Trendsetters, and the Monster Water Demon, which I think I did have that one. I believe this is a Ford Ranger. At least it says Ford on the back. So orange with a little bit of yellow on it. Got the big tires. But again, these are all just push vehicles. No cool battery powered motor there. Here is a Rampage Stomper. And I have to be honest, I don't remember who makes the Rampage, but it makes for a cool looking vehicle. Here's a mini AMC Eagle. And let's look at this guy next to the full-size one here. So as you can see, they have the same general look, but the full-size ones do have a lot more detail. So you can see the lights there are painted red. On this one, it's just the orange plastic. And then on the front, we got a lot more detail with the lights and grille. Here is a 1980s Chevy van, 4x4, headlights on the top, winch on the front, louvered windows, pretty cool little guy. Here is a Toyota SR5 Tercel, blue and yellow. Here's another AMC Eagle. This one's got a better color scheme with the black and gold. And this one was actually brand new. I just took it out of a bag not too long ago, so this one is in mint condition. Here's another mini Chevy pickup, little S10 here. You can see there's quite a bit of wear on this guy, so someone got to play with this guy quite a bit when they were younger. Here is a mini Jeep Renegade 78. I have no idea what that means, but that's what's on it. Winch on the front. And here's another Renegade Jeep 78. Most of the paint's wore off on this guy though. And here is a Chevy Blazer. Got 4x4 all over the place on this guy. Blazer on the side. Winch on the front. Headlights on the top. Pretty cool looking vehicle. Rims are a little bit rusty there. And that is my complete collection of Stomper vehicles so far. I'd like to collect more, but I'm kind of running out of room, so I probably better just stay where I'm at for a while. That is until I have more room. Alright, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, if you could, hit that like button and please subscribe. And have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.